All right, hello everyone, it's silverkyle, and today we're going to take a look at the Spider-Man Clone Saga Volume 2 Omnibus, and this is the 2024 reprint that was slated to release March 12th, 2024. And I remember when I first started collecting Omnibus, this here was just on the cusp of becoming out of print. I think Clone Saga Volume 1 was, or was it the other way around? Either or. One of these was out of print and the other one was just about to go out of print. And so it's always had a significance to me in that sense. I also had quite a few of these. I specifically remember that one. That's Planet of the Symbiotes. I loved that cover. A lot of other good covers here. I mean, you've got a lot of Venom and Carnage here, so that's always good. Retails for $150 in the US, $187 in Canada. I ended up picking it up for $132 with taxes included from indigo.ca when they were having a specific deal. That's how I got my pre-orders. And it collects Amazing Spider-Man 402 to 406. That's one of the interesting things about the Clone Saga Omnibus, is that there's not a lot of Amazing Spider-Man in here. There's a lot of other things in that tie into Amazing Spider-Man, but you're not getting a lot of Amazing Spider-Man, which is the main series. We also get Super Special Spider-Man 59 to 63, and Super Special, Spectacular Spider-Man 225 to 229, and Super Special, Web of Spider-Man 126 to 129 and Super Special, Venom Super Special, New Warrior 61 to 66, Spider-Man The Jackal Files, Spider-Man Maximum Clonage Alpha and Omega, Spider-Man Unlimited 10, Spider-Man Team Up Number 1, Spider-Man The Lost Years 1 to 3, and Spider-Man The Parker Years. Take a look at the flaps, and then we're going to take a look at the hardcover. The hardcover is incredible. I'm just going to leave you waiting in anticipation first. So the left-hand side, we've got a little bit about what's going on as it continues on with the Clone Saga, where I think a lot of people kind of felt that it had jumped the shark. I think I hear a lot more about one of my favorite Spider-Man artists. I know that that's a controversial opinion, but I absolutely love him. Mark Bagley, also great stuff. But yeah, what we have here is very 90s, and this right here is absolutely glorious. I wish that we could see a little bit more here, because that, I mean, it's there, but you'd have to move it down. So beautiful, by John Romita Jr. Not everybody's cup of tea. I think a lot more people prefer his X-Men stuff from prior to Spider-Man, but I loved his Spider-Man work. I liked the way that his villains looked. I like the blockiness of some of their faces, like that right there. I love it. It's very 90s, but to me, I really enjoyed it. Now, what was also happening, it seemed like in the 90s, was that they were going a little bit too crazy with some of their ideas. X-Men was going through that phase. And then the Clone Saga Volume 1, I think, is generally seen as a good storylines, but they just didn't like where it ended up in Volume 2. And this is iMac as well. The binding of this book, I think it's 1,288 pages. We've got everybody that worked on here. That's a crazy amount of people, because there's a lot that we're going to be going through. And to me, the art here isn't as good as Volume 1, if I remember correctly. I still like quite a bit, but not as much. We're starting off, though, strong. And even, I did say that John Romita Jr. is one of my favorite Spider-Man artists. The stuff that we get from in this omnibus, I didn't feel as strongly, but this right here is absolutely glorious. Granted, it's because it's Mark Bagley, who is my ultimate favorite. John Romita Jr. is probably second, but Mark Bagley, just absolutely incredible. In terms of the paper quality, I don't like the feel of it, but there's not a lot of bleed through. The binding is really good. And I will say that it doesn't really have the dusty feel. It doesn't dusty feel that a lot of more of the Omnibus seem to have had in the last few years, but it's not glossy either. This is kind of dusty. Just going to kind of scroll through all of this so you can kind of see what kind of... That's the Planet of the Symbiote stuff. This stuff is kind of wacky. I really enjoyed this as a kid. I have not read it as an adult. And I mean, I didn't have the full story back then either. I was just kind of reading whatever. But I liked this weird... I mean, it kind of worked for like symbiotes. It just looks very chaotic. Like the actual art style. And I enjoyed this and appreciated it as a kid. I would have preferred Mark Bagley and probably John Romita Jr., but I don't know. It gave this specific 5-parter, I think, its own unique feel. And I liked it a lot. I like the tone. It's a lot darker than what you get from Bagley or John Romita Jr. and everybody else that was kind of working on this at the time. The Jackal Files. Kind of neat. That's about halfway, so we're going to kind of skip ahead just so you can kind of see all the other art that's in here. 90s. And there's not a lot of extras in this. I'll just go to the end for the little bit of extras that are there. Oh, I had these cards. I loved these cards. I had that one. I had that one. Had that one. Oh, these two because they went together. That one. I don't want to get tempted by trading cards because I feel like if I start looking at them, I'll get tempted and go get the whole set. That's got to be, yeah, John Romita. That's John Romita. Oh, man. Yeah, what I was saying about John Romita in this. Yeah. Where is his stuff? This is his stuff here. Not my favorite. I like a lot of his stuff, but this work that we get in this omnibus is... Nope, not my fave. Ugh. Anyway, back to the extras here. Yeah, those trading cards were cool. And there you have it. That is everything. We'll just kind of show you what the about halfway through in that. Like, look at that. Can't complain too much about the binding. And voila, there you have it. That is Spider-Man Clone Saga Volume 2 Omnibus. Thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in. Beardage.